श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Discussing the first topic in which chapter are we on? So happy to hear. Yeah. In the fourth chapter, which is, what is the first topic? Avatara Vada, and understanding what this avatara is. Few more things and then we'll be ready to look at the next topic. First one is, we talked about how the avatara belongs to the Vyavaharika Satta. Why? Because everybody can see the avatara. I am not having a personal darshan of Bhagavan. In fact, everybody can see this avatara. So then, one more thing to know is that along with the avatara, many creatures and other human beings are created. Why? Because the avatara needs help. So, like in Rama's time, we have all the Vanaras, and then Vibhishana, and then even that little chipmunk, squirrel, which filled in all the things. That is also filled in the boulders with little pebbles. And so all of them are created together through the punya vishesha of those jivas, and then through the magic body of the avatara, which is the samashti karma, samashti good karma, sukruta karma, in the form of prayers of the people. Now this is the body of the avatara, the karma of the avatara we have discussed, but what about the mind of the avatara? In other words, does the avatara know, I am avatara? Yes or no? Yes, yes. There is a temporary forgetting, as though forgetting. You can't call it forgetting, because if we call it forgetting, we'll be doing disservice to this whole thing. Then that way all of us are avatars, but we have simply quote unquote forgotten who we are. So it's an as though forgetting, because when Rama finished his role as the king, Rama, all these things, as the hero of the Ramayana, Vasishtha had to recall him and say, okay, this is done, this is enough, come back. Something like that. Just one word, come back. It's almost like a reminder, so to speak. The reminder may not be necessary, but it is just given like that. So that means the mind of the avatara has to be what in the Mandukya Upanishad is called Ubhayataf Prajna. So, na antaf prajna, na bahish prajna. Bahish prajna means waker. Antaf prajna is, what is that? Sleeper. Prajna means the consciousness. Then the consciousness which is inwardly facing, consciousness which is outwardly facing, and then ubhayataf prajna is consciousness that is facing both ways, inner and outer, meaning kind of a dream state. Now, avatara is not a dream, neither is the avatara having a dream. It is just compared to a dream state, as though, in the sense that the avatara is aware of itself as a being for whose purpose is already talked about, yada yada hi dharmasya, in those two verses 6 and 7. And then the 7th verse is what? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Yuge yuge means pade pade, at every conjuncture, at every time and place where it's needed, I can reincarnate myself to save the sadhus, people who are dharmic, and to take out those who are causing disturbance in dharma, because they need not be there. And they have had many occasions to correct themselves, they are refusing to correct themselves, and so they have to be taken out. Oh, then Bhagavan is like a bloodthirsty being ready to pounce on somebody. No, in fact, you won't believe this, and it doesn't seem fair. All the adharmic beings taken out, quote unquote, killed by Bhagavan in any of the avatars immediately get moksha. Ayyo, why have I been good all these days? I could have also been Ravana, I could have also been Hiranyakashipu, all these people. But it is to show that it's not that, the villains are favored by Bhagavan. No, but to show that the killing is metaphorical. The killing is what? The killing of the ahankara, durahankara. An ahankara gone wild, an ahankara that is not in keeping with the reality, an ahankara that has completely reverted to a pratibhasika state, because it is only self-referential. It is a subjective ahankara thinking itself to be great. And I'm sure we all know people like that. And what do they say? I am great. But they are not that great if you look at it objectively. But they are convinced that they are great. So this way, the Ravanas, the Hiranyakashipus, and all these people with the last name Asura, Taraka, Asura, and then who else? Raktabija plus Asura. Anybody who has last name of Asura is also under this discussion. Asura means what? Asushuramante iti asuraha. Those that only live for sense object, consumption, sense objects consumption, and revelry in the sense objects. That's all they want by hook or crook. So these asuras, they have bad ahankara. Durahankara means subjective ahankara, which leads them to believe that east or west, they are the best. And so as a result of trying to maintain this kind of a status which is not true, they engage in adharma. And we'll see all this in the 16th chapter, what all they do. And they engage in adharma, they ride roughshod over other people's privileges and rights, and they cause lot of havoc and chaos in the societies in which they live, because all they want is to acquire more and more power, Aishwarya, and more bhoga, more and more consumption. So that is all they want. And so therefore, since they are causing so much havoc in the places where they abide, Bhagavan, let's say, takes an avatara to take them out. Then what happens is this, that they have, they gain moksha, because the killing is metaphorical. The ahankara is killed means what? The person has turned over a new leaf. That is what it is. And we see this in the Ravana Vadha, the killing of Ravana, very, very nicely. How many heads did the fellow have? 10 heads. Yeah, 10 heads means confused. That much ego. Too many heads. And he was always getting ahead of himself. That means, with so many heads, what else can you do? And so, poor Rama thought, okay, this is how you kill a demon. And what was he doing? He was trying to behead the heads with the arrows, one by one by one. And what would happen? The head would detach from the body, all right, maybe it would fall down and then magically reappear and get stuck to the neck. And these are what? Permanent heads. Oh my God, he was a talking head. But nonetheless, he was not able to be killed. And then he is reminded. Vibhishana comes and tells him that no, aim at the heart. Aim at the heart, not at the head. Aim at the heart. Metaphorical heart, but again, then when he aimed at the heart, all the heads rested in peace, so to speak. No more there was confusion. We see the same thing in the killing of, the so-called killing of Hiranyakashipu by this avatara, another avatara. What was the avatara? Half person, half lion. Because again, these asuras, before they became asuras, what were they? Devotees. Devotees with a big agenda. Usually, very boring agenda, world domination. I mean, who wants that? Think about world domination, so much responsibility, but still for some reason, unknown reason, everybody asks for world domination. So here also this Hiranyakashipu asked for, prayed and did lot of tapas, asked for world domination and also asked for deathlessness. He thought, then deathlessness was not given, but he thought he could cover all things. See, that's when you have hubris. Hubris means you get ahead of yourself. You think you are great and you have planned, you have this, what is that? A foolproof plan. And what was his foolproof plan? He had a list of a series of boons. I should not be killed by a man. Okay, check. I should not be killed by a woman. All right, no problem. I should not be killed by an animal. Okay. I should not be killed inside the house. Okay. I should not be killed outside of the house. Okay. I should not be killed during the day. Okay. I should not be killed at noon. Okay. I should not be killed at night. Okay. I should not be killed on the ground. Okay, no problem. And then all these things. Okay. Bhagavan knows all the loopholes. No problem. Yeah. And then he had the whole kingdom keep chanting his name. They were all chanting Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namah Shivaya, but he said no, everybody should chant my name, Om Hiranyaya Namaha. He put an edict. The edict of the king is like the law of the land. And so he made everybody chant that. There was only one detractor. Who was that? His own little boy. Cute, but not very obedient when it came to this. And he loved his son very much. But what kind of a love it is where he wanted his, unquestioned admiration. He told his son, you should be the first one chanting and inspire the whole kingdom, but you are the last holdout. He says, sorry, Pops, you are my father, but you can't be God. I have my Narayana. And then, he did everything. He put him on his lap, gave him toys, cajoled him, hugged him, kissed him, nothing happened. Then he threw him in a dungeon, locked him up, still nothing happened. Even from the dungeon, noises were coming. What was that? Om Namo Narayanaya. Then finally he had it. Dragged the boy out. You keep saying Narayana, Narayana. Look, I bought you the toys, I bought you these clothes, I'm making you a prince. Then tomorrow you will be the king, and that too I will make you the king. What has this Narayana given you? The boy remained silent. Where is he anyway? Look, I've been the main one in your life. Where is he? He is everywhere. And then there is a pillar, because if you are a king, you have to live in a house which has pillars inside, okay? Yeah. Then only you are a king. Otherwise you are just a commoner. You are not a king. So he is, he says, is your Narayana in this pillar? He very unhesitatingly, the boy doesn't even question his Shraddha, his devotion is so much. He said, yes, definitely he is in the pillar. The king has been doing martial arts, and then, one thing which is not known about Hiranyakashipu is that he was a black belt, okay, karate. So then what does he do? With one leg he gives a karate kick to the pillar. Pillar collapses, all right. Out of that a horrible looking creature comes out. Avatara. This is Avatara for you. And what was that creature looking like? Half human, half lion. Which is what? Neither a man should kill me, nor a woman should kill me, nor an animal should kill me. Check, check, check. This is what? A hybrid. Yes. This is a hybrid, neither animal nor human. And then this horrible creature comes out, and then Prahlada, the boy, is not at all disturbed. Hiranyakashipu is very disturbed, tries to run away, and then catches him. And then what? I will not be killed on the ground. No problem. Here is my lap. I'm going to put you on my lap. I shall not be killed inside the house. Oh, that's a problem. I shall not be killed outside the house. Well, you know why? That's why the threshold is made. Let's go to the threshold. Drags him to the threshold, and then what? It should be neither morning nor afternoon nor night. That is why we have a thing called twilight. Dangerous time, because it's the death of the ahankara at that time. And so, twilight, and then what does he do? This sounds very gory. He tears open the stomach, which is the seat of what is called the Manipura chakra, the seat of the ahankara. So, we have to take all this metaphorically. So, because otherwise, all the Western academics will write. What will they say? Oh, Hinduism is a very violent religion. Always somebody is killing somebody, and yet they profess ahimsa, contradiction. This is what they will say. So we have to understand it properly so we can, if the situation comes, we can defend ourselves. We can defend this great, great tradition which has suffered a lot for lack of understanding, for not being able to understand, for want of understanding, it has suffered a lot. So anyhow, so the avatara does not, killing means taking out the miscreants. It would involve killing, but it also, we have to take it metaphorically as well. It is the killing of the ahankara, the I notion. And so the one more thing we need to know about the avatara is the mindset of the avatara. I said ubhayatav prajna. Then again the thing is, how can somebody be awake and dreaming or at the same time? How is that possible? And ubhayatav prajna, how is that possible? Then the example that Pujya Swamiji used to give was a very nice example. It's like a person with a identity disorder. Before it was called MPD, which stood for what? Multiple personality disorder. The avatara is like an MP without the D, if you can imagine. It's like a multiple personality without the disorder, doing many things and having many self-reference points, but then in the person with dissociative, now it is no longer called multiple personality disorder, it is called dissociative identity disorder, where many, many personalities come because of childhood trauma. The childhood trauma is so severe that there is a complete dissociation with that, from that trauma. And so beings are created, but at the same time the trauma is so severe, it cannot be denied. And so it cannot be that I have undergone this trauma, the child cannot think it is too much. So therefore a dissociative identity is created. And they'll say this person is the victim. This person has endured the trauma. And the same person splits into the victim and also into the perpetrator. There is another being also inside the same being that comes out as a perpetrator. Now the perpetrator and the victim, who are they? Same person here. But the problem is the perpetrator and the victim do not know each other, do not see each other, do not talk to each other, kind of like Navagrahas in a temple. They don't face each other. That this is one thing. If you want to consecrate a 9-planet temple, then all of them should be ingeniously not facing one another. And so, because that's like that tantamounts to being an affliction in the horoscope. And so therefore they don't face one another. So here also the dissociated identities do not face one another at all. They are, they don't even know of each other's existence. So one can go and commit a murder and come back, and the other one will say, what happened? I don't know, I didn't do anything, I was not even there. So like this, it is there. But Pujya Swamiji thought that this is very, very curable. This, even though even the most seasoned psychologists sometimes give up on dissociative identity disorder, Pujya Swamiji actually had one person, a student who had this disorder, and was able to cure her completely. This is just fascinating. She had not one, not two, not three, 40 personalities. 40 personalities. And naturally she was a mess and a wreck, and on the rare occasions where the real her came out, then she had no idea all this was happening. But she was sick of herself because so many people would come and say, you were mean to me, you were cruel to me, you were this, you were that. And then Swamiji took on the challenge of counseling her. Every day she used to spend 3 hours. We were all worried for his safety. But once we asked him, what are you doing with her, Swamiji? Because we were so curious, like what is happening behind that closed door? 2 hours, 3 hours, they would not come out. And then he said, I have spent it had been about 1 week. He says, I have spent the whole week creating one more personality. We said, what? Doesn't she have enough already? Why would you do that? He said, I thought about many things, but this is the only way. What do you mean this is the only way? This is the only way. And then he told us that the 41st personality that was created was a Vedanta teacher. Vedanta teacher was the 41st personality that was created, and he gave her an auto-suggestion that she is very close to this Vedanta teacher. In fact, she is the Vedanta teacher. These other personalities, she is not. She was given this auto-suggestion repeatedly. And then she said, if I am a Vedanta teacher, I need sannyasa. And he said, granted. And he gave her a name, gave her some orange clothes to wear, temporary, because if after she got cured, she didn't want this life, she doesn't need to have this life. She got a nice name, Brahmanishtananda, very nice name. And then gave her some of his own clothes, and whatever she wore on top of that. She used to put his dhoti and his angavastram and come there and sit, and the sessions continued until each and every personality was absorbed. So first she used to have class for the other 40 people, and then she used to come and say, this one did not attend. That one did not come for this class. This one doesn't like Bhagavad Gita. That one doesn't like meditation. She used to complain. And Pujya Swamiji would say that you have to be patient, you have to use these kinds of upayas. These are the kinds of remedies you have to use. And then if they still don't listen, what to do, she would ask. And he would say, take them off. From your list of students, cut them out, because you don't have to be responsible for them anymore. Whether they come or not later is not your problem, cut them out. And so like this, all the personalities got integrated, and she was completely well. And the reason he could do this was because he understood Vedanta like nobody else. That is why he could do this, a task which nobody would take on. It took about 1.5 years, almost 18-19 months it took. But then, even today, she's having a wonderful job. She's there, she's fine. It's just amazing, really amazing. Because he understood avatara. This is what it is. The avatara is like having different personalities, but they are not talking to each other. It's a healthy, what is that? Identity. Many identities. It spans the Vyavaharika and the Paramarthika, and the Vyavaharika and the Pratibhasika. All the three layers of reality it spans without getting lost. What happens to the rest of the people? If you are in Paramarthika by accident, quickly one comes to Vyavaharika. Most of the time in Pratibhasika. This is everybody's reality, but the Avatara has smooth passage in all the three realities because it knows its place. It knows I am Paramarthika, but as though visiting Vyavaharika, as though visiting, what is the other one? Pratibhasika. So this is the Avatara. This is the, if this much is understood, we can go to the next topic, which is again a very, very important topic in the 4th chapter. And the segue is as follows. The segue means the connection between this and the next topic. So what is the next topic? Akartritvam. Akartritvam means non-doership, and how to achieve it is the next topic of the 4th chapter. So non-doership is the topic of the next topic, second topic of the 4th chapter. But then, what is the connection between being an avatara and non-doership? There is a very intricate and beautiful connection which we have to know, which we have to understand. And what is that? See, if we adore Lord Krishna as an avatara, what do I get out of this? What do I get? I adore, I pray to Lord Krishna, I adore Lord Krishna, I worship Lord Krishna. What am I getting out of this? Some punya. Yeah, maybe some drishta phala, peace of mind, and then in adrishta is some punya I will get. With that punya, what can I do? I can at the most go to heaven, have a little tour of heaven. Indra will show me around, king of Swarga, king of Devaloka. I can go to Devaloka for a holiday, not holiday in, that's the name of a hotel, holiday out. Okay? And then I can go there and have some fun, and then what? Come back. When do I come back? When the punya is exhausted. When the punya is exhausted, then the jiva comes back exhausted. Exhausted of making many, many rounds everywhere. So adoring Krishna as avatara, worshipping Krishna as avatara, longing to have darshan of Krishna as avatara, darshan kab doge, like all these singing these songs, is not going to give me this Atma Jnanam. So the avatara appears in the Bhagavad Gita and declares itself to be avatara because the ultimate place to go is to see this I, who I mistook myself to be a sad human being, to be an afraid human being, to be a human being without any help, any recourse, a helpless human being, is actually non-different from this avatara. I too am an avatara. This is where I have to engage. This is where I have to go. This is where I have to, that looks like a big leap, bigger than what Hanumanji took to go to Sri Lanka from India. And so therefore, this has to be understood properly. And so how is it that I am non-separate from Lord Krishna? Because that is the teaching of the Upanishad. The teaching of the Upanishad is that you are non-separate from Bhagavan. And this is what has to be understood. So since it is unfolded by the Upanishads, I cannot dismiss it and say, the Upanishad doesn't know what it is doing. Everybody else may be Bhagavan, I am not Bhagavan. Why? Because I don't deserve to be. I have been bad, I have been idiotic, I have done many, many wrong things in my life. Therefore, how can I be Bhagavan? It must apply to other people. One can dismiss it. If you read it, you can dismiss it. So therefore, it is something that is taught, it is something that is understood, it is something that has to be assimilated. Totally and fully assimilated. And then in what respect am I same as the avatara? If you ask, Okay, maybe you don't have cool things like Sudarshana Chakra and all these things that you can send out like a disc, and whoever you don't like, you can take them out. Okay, you don't have that. And then you don't have the ability, so many other siddhis like telekinesis, teleporting. Teleporting means taking yourself from here to there without aid of taxi, plane, train, etc. Ship, nothing. You just will yourself to be somewhere. You will yourself to be somewhere and you are there. Telekinesis. What is telekinesis? Moving objects. So, just by willpower. Object doesn't have willpower. Who has a willpower? The Chaitana Jiva has willpower. So the book is over here. People do this. There have been TV shows about this. Many people have these siddhis. The book is over here. Suddenly it moves and comes on this side. Okay, don't ask me to demonstrate. All right. So then, like this, all these siddhis and all, I don't have. I means Jiva here does not have. And then, so therefore, in what respect I am like the avatara? There is only one respect where the comparison can be made. What is that? Akartritvam, non-doership. Non-doership. And then, to understand this segue, we will chant one verse. 14th verse. Namam karmani limpanti Name karma phale spruha Iti mam yobhijanati Karma bhirna sabadhyate. Yeah. So, namam karmani limpanti. Limpanti does not mean limp, okay? Yeah. Limp, limpati, limpati, limpataha, limpanti. No, it is not about limping. It is lip to stick. Yeah. Lip to stick. Lip, not English L-I-P, no. Lip, dhatu, lip root verb which means to stick. And there is an agama, therefore it becomes limpanti, limpati. So, namam karmani limpanti. The karmas don't stick to me. Why? Name karma phale spriha. I do not have any desire for the fruit of action. I do many things, Arjuna, but I don't have the fruit of, I don't have a agenda for the result of action. That the result of action should be a certain way. I don't have this agenda. I just do. That's all. I have no desire either in the action or in the result of action. And then not only this, iti mam yaha abhijanati. The one who knows me as such, who knows that I am free of karma, I am free of the results of karma, and I am free of the desire for upabhoga, for consuming, for experiencing the results of karma also. If somebody knows this about me, how can they know it about me? They know it about themselves. That's why they know it about me. If somebody knows this about me, karma bhihi nasaha badhyate. That person is not bound by karma. He or she is not bound by karma at all. Such a person is not bound by karma. Who is this person? Who knows I am free from karma, Lord Krishna says. So really, that is the segue here. Karma becomes the segue. Karma means not karma. Knowing oneself as free of karma becomes the segue to the second important topic of non-doership. Why? Because even though Bhagavan Krishna is an avatara and is doing many things, Bhagavan is not the doer at all. This is what we have to understand. Why is Bhagavan not the doer? Because Bhagavan has Atmajnanam, does not consider himself as the doer and comes to grief. He knows that doership is what? Mithya. Mithya means it is an as though superimposition upon what? The Atma, which is naturally free of either doing or being done in. And the one who knows this also is redeemed, also becomes an avatara-like person. May not be avatara with all the bells and whistles, but is like an avatara without all the powers and the bells and whistles, but enjoys the same knowledge that the avatara has. And this is difficult to understand, very difficult to understand, because I think I told you here in this class only about him sitting on the banks of the river and there being a big flood. Yes? No? Are you sure? Yes. Or you just want to hear it again? No. Yeah. So Krishna is sitting on the banks of the river and then playing with a lot of gopis. Yes, we heard. You heard? See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Some class. Not the last class. Some class. I told you the story. Yeah? Tomorrow your homework is to tell it back to me. All right? Yeah. 24 hours are given to recall the tale. Yeah. Ask somebody to tell it to you. That's what you do after lunch. No nap today. Okay? Yeah. So, akartritvam is important but very difficult to attain. And in fact, there is nothing to attain. The Upanishad tells us, the Veda tells us, why? Because that is your nature. Atma doesn't do anything. And if I am Atma, how can I do anything? But this is very difficult to understand because everybody is brought up to be a doer. And people take pride also in that. I am a doer. I can't sit quietly, I have to keep doing. And I am a doer and I like to do things in my company, in my office. People say this. People talk about themselves as predominantly a doer. This is the world over, even in places, this is surprising to me, very interesting trivia, even in places where there is no first portion of the Veda. Here we can say we are doers because we are beholden to and attached to the hip, to the first portion of the Veda. What is the first portion of the Veda? A treatise in wish fulfillment. That's why it's called Karma Kanda. It's all about doing and getting returns. You know, if you do properly, if you do everything properly, you will get the proper returns. It's like one is trained like the dog of that scientist, what was his name? Pavlov. Pavlov's dog. So what did they do? They rang the bell. They rang one bell and then as soon as the bell was rung, food appeared. First day the dog just said, okay, it did not think about it much, it just ate the food. Second day, third day, after that it started to get very clever. So when the bell rang, it used to salivate. The mouth used to be filled with saliva at the anticipation of the food coming. So here, the food is karma phala, and then in the example here, the food is karma phala, and then the bell is whatever I have to do. So the doing and the karma phala are together because this is what the first portion of the Veda has taught everybody. The first portion of the Veda teaches that you are what? What are you? Karta. You are karta. And then what do you want? Karma phala. And I, the Veda, will tell you what to do, because if left to your own devices, you will go and do some adharmic things, and I don't want you to do adharmic things, and so I will teach you how to convert every act into a prayer and to still fulfill your desires. So basically, it is all about that. And then there are schools of thought like Purva Mimamsaka. Purva Mimamsaka means those who are committed to Mimamsa, analysis of the first portion of the Veda. Purva Mimamsakas, what is their contention? You don't worry about moksha. Moksha is not in your hands. How can moksha be in your hands? Moksha is in whose hands? Bhagavan's hands, Lord's hands. You are not your hands. So what should I do to get moksha? Where should I go? Should I go to Guru? Arey, forget Gurus. They don't like Gurus, yeah. Purva Mimamsakas are not into Gurus. Forget Gurus. What will Guru do? You just need to worship the Lord, number one. And then out of the 5 kinds of karmas discussed, what are they? Nitya karma, very good. Naimittika karma, Kamya karma, Nishiddha karma, Prayashchitta karma. Very good. Life is worth living after all. So all these 5 kinds of karmas, what is the out of that? Don't do Kamya karma. They will tell. Do Nitya karma. Do Naimittika karma. And then what? Don't do Nishiddha karma. Means follow what is not to be done. And then do Prayashchitta, because Nishiddha will always be done. Somehow or the other it will be done. So do Prayashchitta, and then you keep worshipping the Lord, keep fulfilling your desires, and then one day, boom, you get moksha. Not now. After death you will get moksha. There is no Jivan Mukti anywhere except in Vedanta Shastra. You will get moksha. So they don't believe in knowledge. They don't believe in. They have a heart attack almost when you tell them the Atma is akarta. Akarta, how can you be? You are stuck to karma all along. And this is what every child raised in India gets from its parents. That you have to keep doing. Till one drops dead, one has to keep doing. Okay, that is our excuse. What about the people born and brought up in other countries? Same doership is there, which shows the universality of the application of Vedanta Shastra. Vedanta Shastra is universal. It's not just for people belonging to India. Even though it was born in India, it is, we can't even say born in India, even though it was discovered in India, it is for the whole universe, not for just one person somewhere or for people in India. This is very important. So Kartritva Buddhi is very difficult to drop. Why? Because I feel attached to this sense of doing as though my life and my whole identity depended on it. Even when you introduce yourself to somebody or you ask somebody, first thing you will ask, what is your name? Second thing is what? What do you do? Nobody says, what do you undo? No. What do you do? And that is where the identity is. That is where the validation is. In fact, the more you do, the more validation. The other person says, wow, you're doing all this. In such a short time, you have accomplished all this. No, it's not that much. Yeah. Then one says like that. But this is the problem. Is we don't even know the meaning of non-doership, in Sanskrit known as akartritvam. Akartritvam is not at all understood. And how to get rid of karma is not understood. I think I have to keep on doing prayashchitta. But prayashchitta means what? Karma of atonement. Karma of atonement means what? If I am keeping on doing karma of atonement, that means karma is real. And I am doing wrong, that is also real. And that I need to be absolved of certain kinds of karma, that is also real. All these things which are mithya, karma is mithya and karma phala is also what? Mithya, it cannot be satyam. This is not understood. But karma in our Shastra is presented as a model. Just like a model in physics, karma is presented as a model. And because before the gain of Atmajnanam, if somebody is taught the knowledge of akartritvam, meaning non-doership, then that will become the defense of every serial killer. Not guilty, Your Honor. How? On what grounds? On the grounds that the Gita declares me to be a non-doer. Each one will say, I haven't done it. So, this is not, therefore this knowledge is carefully given to a select group of people. Selected people who have adhikaritvam, who are qualified for this knowledge. Not everybody can understand, and not everybody can assimilate either. So therefore, since this kartritva is very difficult to drop, then what we do is we take it step by step. We look at it as a model, and like a model in physics. What is this model? The model says, as you shall sow, so you shall reap. We know this. The karma is there. Then avashyam bhavi. Avashyam bhavi is karma phala. Avashyam bhavi means it will definitely happen. Because result of action follows action. If you ring a bell, sound will come. Definitely it will come. It will reverberate everywhere. And so like this, the first maxim of karma is that karma gives rise to result of action. So we have what? Now I don't know if you're studying vibhaktis. Have you started vibhaktis in Samskrita? Yeah. So first vibhakti is what? Karta. Karta. Because he, she is the, what is that? The hero of the show. Karta. And then second, karta means subject, doer. The first karaka is called subject. I as the doer is called karta. First case. And what is the second case? Karma, object. Second case is object. First case is subject. Rama plays with the ball. First Rama plays. Ramaha kridati. Rama plays. How does he play? With the ball. Kandukena kridati. Like this we can say. So then that brings in the third case. The third case is all connected to the actor and action. What is the third case? Instrument of action. Karana. Instrument of action. Kandukena kridati. And then what else? Sampradana means the purpose of the action. Nobody does action without a purpose. What is the purpose of action? The purpose of action is like, let's say, we can say, the purpose of action is to have, Rama went to the forest. Why? For the sake of attending or obeying the words, attending to or obeying the words of the father. Pitruvakya paripalanaya vanam gacchati. Who? Ramaha. Ramaha gacchati. Rama goes. And what is the object of going? Vanam, forest. Ramo vanam gacchati. And why? What is the purpose? Simply why will a king, prince, heir apparent to the throne suddenly pick up and go off to the forest? The reason is, why? To obey the words, to uphold the words of the father. Okay? And then we can, what? Yeah, the next one is the karaka called this thing, what is that? Ablative case. Fourth case in English is called dative case. Fifth case is called ablative case, the place of origin of action. That is very important. Vrikshat phalam patati. The fruit falls from where? The tree. So the tree is dhruva. Dhruva means stationary, fixed. And what is doing the falling? The fruit is falling off the tree. And then we have the sixth karaka. What is the sixth karaka?
Sambandha.
Yeah, sambandha. Sambandha means a connection. Not connection between noun and verb. connection between two nouns, connection between karta and other things that are there along with the karta. So this is nothing to do with action. This is to do with the subject. Then the seventh case is what? Adhikaranam. The location of the action. One was the source from where the action has come. The other one is where is the action taking place. Tishtati. Ramaha tishtati. Kutra tishtati. Tishtati means stands. Where does Rama stand? Grihe. That will be in seventh case. Griha. And then seventh case will what? Grihe tishtati. Sits, stands in the house. The locative. And then after that what? Sambodhanam. Calling. Rama. 3 times you have to say Plutaswara. So calling. Sambodhana. So all these karakas, in all these karakas, karta is the celebrity. Without karta, all these karakas will not exist. Without the first karaka, which is the doer, the subject, all these karakas will not exist at all. Will have no, they will have no leg to stand on. The instrument of action is important only when it is wielded by the actor. So, Kandukena Kridati, if the Kridana Kriya was not there, if the action of playing was not there, and if Rama was not there, then the action of playing is not there, then what will the ball do by itself? Ball has no role. Correct? And similarly, the origin of action, the place of origin of the action, the location of action, all these things, the purpose of action have no leg to stand on without the hero. Who is that? Actor. The actor is at the center of everything. And all these things we take so much trouble to learn in Sanskritam. What do we do in the Vedanta class? Dismiss each and everything. This Atmajnanam is seen as Karaka Upamardhanam. The killing off of all the Karakas is seen as self-knowledge. Metaphorically, okay? Yeah. So, the killing off of the Karakas is seen metaphorically as the whole point and purpose of Atmajnanam. What is Atmajnanam? Karaka Upamardhanam Atmajnanam. Atmajnanam is the killing off of all the Karakas. How do you kill off all the Karakas? You query. You query and kill off. So, Rama not the avatara, local Rama. So many Ramas are there, including Shapad Rama. So many Ramas are there. Foodie Rama. So many Ramas are there. So this is a local Rama. This is not the avatara Rama. So let's say, so killing off the Karakas entails analyzing each and everything. So Rama did something, let's say. It says, Ramaha karoti, Rama does something. Then we add how does he do, what did he do, all these things. We are not going there now, we have finished doing that. But there is another track which we have not looked into, and that is where the Bhagavad Gita comes to help. So what is the question we ask? The main question we ask is, how did he do this? He did this not just with his hands and legs, but because the hands and legs were what? Given. Hand was given, leg was given, did it. Brain was given, and then the ability to do, the creative ability to do, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti was given in the form of the goddess, in the intellect, and desire was given, the creative ability was given, and so who is the doer now? Is Rama still the doer? Will you still consider Rama the doer? Say no, so we can move on, okay? Yeah, no. We can't consider Rama the doer because we have eminently dismissed the doership from Rama completely. We have divorced the doership. How have we divorced the doership? by showing that Rama is a nobody, really. Because Rama had a lot of help, unacknowledged help. Hands were given, legs were given, buddhi is given, resources are given, shakti is given, parakrama is given, so many things are given. Parakrama means the ability to bring the project, any project that one is engaged in, to a complete completion. All this is given. So what can one take credit for? Nothing. This is how the Karakas are killed off. And then later it's going to say, we will chant that verse also. I don't mind chanting it now because it's close to lunchtime, so it's okay. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena gantavyam, Brahmakarma samadhina. Even though it's out of turn, we'll see it now because it's an important verse and it is more pertinent in this discussion than when it occurs later on. So right now we'll just, take that verse, pluck it out from where it is, 34th verse or something, which number it is? Yeah, 24th verse. So we'll bring it now here in our discussion of karma bhihi sanabadhyate, does not get caught up in karma or the results thereof. Who? The one who understands me as free from karma does not also get caught up in karma, Lord says. And so therefore we'll take this verse to bring it here, and it's a very ingenious verse. What does it say? Brahmarpanam. Arpanam means the offering. So everything that when we analyze this local Rama's actions, we found that everything was given. Who is the giver? Ishvara. Here referred to as Brahman. So Brahman, Ishvara is the giver. So then the actor is who? Brahman. Okay, any question I ask, the answer is Brahman. Okay, don't disappoint me. Yeah. Who is the actor? What is the object of action? Brahman. And what is the instrument of action? What is the purpose of action? Brahman. And where did the action come from? The idea to do the action, where it came from? Brahman. And then we'll skip the 6th Karaka. Where is the action located in? Brahman. Like this, the whole thing is Brahman. And when we see the whole thing, the actor, action, acted upon, object, subject, instrument, and all the purpose of action, the origin of action, the locus of action, all of them are what? Non-separate from Brahman. In fact, they are all Brahman. Then who can say I am the doer? Nobody. Nobody can claim I am the doer because the one is free of doership by ascribing everything to Brahman. This is again a beautiful understanding. Ascribing means what? It happens to be the case. If there was no Atma, no action is done. Very interesting. But Atma does not perform any action. So therefore, I cannot take myself to be the doer because Satchidananda Atma I am. Satchidananda Atma is not the doer. In its presence, Satta Spurti Pradhanena, because of it lends its sentiency and the existence to all other things. So everybody can claim to be a doer without really being a doer. Correct? Didn't understand? Yes. Yeah. So everybody can claim to be the doer without really being the doer. The nature is non-doer and the doing happens. The doing happens under certain circumstances, but the doing is what? Mithya. Doing itself is mithya. Mithya means not false, not illusion, not delusion. What is mithya? Dependent reality. It is a dependent reality, dependent on who? Me. Me, the Atma, that is completely free of doing. It is dependent upon me, and so in this spirit, what do I say? Whatever I have done, I am not the doer. The so-called doer is not me. Doer is not opposed to Atma, but Atma is not the doer. Nothing is opposed to Atma. Doer and then done in, victim, agent, actor, all of them are Atma because they can't be outside of Atma. But it's a status as though superimposed upon the Atma from which the I is totally free. So this is called Karaka Upamardhanam. It's not the real killing of the Karakas, but the metaphorically seeing the mithyatvam of the Karakas. That these Karakas, these factors, Karaka means what? Factors involved in the nishpatti, in the accomplishment of action. This is called Karaka. Factors involved in action is called Karakas. So from 1 to 8, all the Karakas are falsified. And by how? Simply falsifying the Karta. So therefore the karma model is there for as long as this knowledge is not understood, we go with the karma model. And what is this karma model? We already saw, as you sow, so you will reap. Every karma will have a consequence, and that consequence is either favorable or unfavorable. That karma is right from the beginning, from many lives, not from just this life. And so the impetus to do the karma could also be a vasana which comes from what? Some other life. And then the result of action also is what? Coming from some other prarabdha. So because somebody else gets the result they want, but I never get the result I want, that is also some karma from the past. And then two possible things are there. I can either like it or I dislike it. My own ragadveshas come in the place, and if I don't like the karma phala, what do? Engage in more karma. And the more karma I engage in, the more karma phala, results of action I get, and the more karma phala I get, what happens? The more karma I engage in. Where is the stopping point? It is endless. But one has to understand dharma. Therefore, very ironically and interestingly, paradoxically, it is only through doing that one understands non-doing. So how to understand non-doing? How to understand that I have to do properly? This is dharma. So therefore, dharma is emphasized. Dharma is the road on which I have to drive, and I have to get to the place, and then I have to accomplish dharma. So what does karma give me? Action gives me the preparedness for this knowledge. Action cannot give me this knowledge. This is the second topic in the 4th chapter. Very important topic. Because without this we cannot even go further. The action gives me what? It gives me a certain kind of responsibility. It gives me accountability. But it cannot give me self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is opposed to action. And Atma-jnanam, therefore, does not sit well with the identity, I am the actor. Why? Because I am not the actor, I was never the actor. This has to be understood. And the Purva Mimamsakas, poor things, are stuck in the action and acting all the time, and they are not able to comprehend this fact at all. Not in the least bit, not in 100 years. So therefore, great punya is required to even be able to entertain this thought that perhaps I am not an actor. Perhaps that is the reality of me. Great punya is required. What to talk of? Assimilating this knowledge. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Tatsat.